Hey guys, and welcome back to Pokemon X. Now that Team Flare's been dealt with, it's time to recommence our Pokemon League challenge and head towards the next gym town. But first, a message from Sycamore.
Hello, I am useless!
I probably should have seen this whole Team Flare thing coming. My bad.
He's such a terrible... honestly, I'm kind of surprised by how much I think Sycamore is actually kind of a bad character. The other professors are just there, but Sycamore knows this shit. He knew Lysander, and he did fuck all to stop it. Holy shit, dude.
Professor Oak would have came as soon as he heard about Team Flare.
Rowan would have beat the shit out of Lysander with his bare hands, because you do not fuck with Rowan. He's a bad motherfucker.
Elm probably wouldn't have done anything, I'm gonna be honest. I love Jen too, but Jesus Christ, man.
I don't even think Juniper can fight. What's her style?
And I like how Lysander is being disrespected even after his arc is finished by having random trainers use his Pokemon.
That's true. Okay, I don't think a trainer ever busts out a Pyroar, because we haven't seen one up until this point, until the Lysander fights. And of course, nobody's gonna be pulling out a Mega Evolved Gyarados anytime soon.
That'll be pretty random.
Oh, well, everybody just has one of these. It's just kind of a trend that caught on. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I guess I'll, if you didn't hear what I said last time, now that Team Flare's been all wrapped up, some people have said that maybe I was expecting a bit too much of the team in this game, especially since Pokemon is a kid's game, and I get that. I honestly do. I'm not expecting, super complex characters here. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Team Flare was so one-dimensional, cartoony, and unbelievable, even for kid stuff standards. Even then, because this isn't an excuse to make shit, guys. Even then, they were terrible characters and a terrible team altogether, and I really think they could have been done a bit better.
That's fair enough, I think.
Now this guy here, he actually offers this interesting new twist on standard Pokemon battling. He has something called an inverse battle. And basically what that is that it reverses what's effective and what's resistant against particular types. So, for example, fire burns grass. It's super effective. But in an inverse battle, grass would actually resist fire. So what do you think of that particular kind of style of battling?
Well, it's a tad more interesting than the Sky battles, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're kind of hard-pressed to find something to say about the Sky battles. They take place in the air. Now, you'd think that would be cool, but as we saw, they didn't really do a lot with it.
Okay, so first and foremost, he's sending out a Shedinja. Shedinja is a ghost type, so normal and fighting types will not bite down upon it normally, but this is an inverse battle, so watch what happens now.
I always liked Shedinja. If I'm saying that right, I'm probably not. I thought he was a really cool concept for a Pokemon, being basically the shell of an evolved, Ninjask. Or whatever evolved into a Ninjask. And apparently, it's based on this particular kind of myth that it's like this shell, but if you look inside the hole, something in there takes your soul, which is kind of awesome.
It also has Wonder Guard, so it is only damaged by super effective stuff, which is kind of pointless in an inverse battle, but hey-ho.
And here's a Talonflame. I think I've said this before, but I do really like the design for Talonflame. Out of, all of the beginning birds you can get, Talonflame is easily one of my highest up, so it's good to see him get some use.
Now, be careful here, because even if they, don't possess something that can harm you with super effective damage, they can still do a lot of damage. This was my 5th take.
Oh wow, your 5th? Really?
Yeah, the first Pokemon, ironically, was a Pyroar.
So wait, the Pokemon he uses changes depending on when you fight him?
And I believe you can fight him once a day.
Ooh, that's actually kind of interesting. That's something to actually, reasonably go back to. It throws everything off that you know about Pokemon battling. That actually does sound interesting.
I'd like to see it actually be melded into Wi-Fi battles, if it's not already. I'm a massive pleb when it comes to competitive stuff, as you should know by now.
Yeah. I bring that up myself. Now, actually, I kind of want to expand on that. I think what they should do for, a Wi-Fi battle option is have, a super randomizer battle. Random teams random abilities within a select pool. Random moves, of course, each one should have a move that uses their type for stab bonuses. But at the same time, just kind of mix things up so we don't get the same teams we always get online. I think that would be really cool.
Now, of course, since the Bomb of Snow is part grass, water will now do super effective damage.
I'm just wondering what kind of weird magic makes this happen and how it would alter reality to do that.
I would just like to point out the fact that Blizzard has kind of, middling accuracy, and yet he is able to launch one off. Look at those fucking eyes, man.
Those are pretty intense. You wouldn't see that on most Pokemon.
I had to bust out a Pokemon with 3 eyes just to counter it.
Yes, this is our debut of Magnezone!
Yeah, you ain't trying that shit on me, son. I got sturdy.
Motherfucker, I have second chance. I borrowed it from the Kingdom Hearts series.
I don't care. Fucking die.
Haha, I won. He's dead.
Now, if you're able to plow through all 3 of his Pokemon without having any of yours faint, I believe you get a greater reward. It's kind of random as to what you get. I think we get berries this time.
Ooh, berries. I'm so glad you fought him now.
Well, look at it this way, Helldragon. It could have been a Sky Battle.
Well, if you won that, would they not have given you berries as well?
Now, we were kind of rambling there, so just before we leave the Inverse House, I want to, hammer home the finer points. Say, for example, you're using a Fire-type move against a Grass-type. It will now become, not very effective. But if you're using a Grass-type move against a Fire-type, it will now become super effective. If you're, say, using a Ghost type, it will now be vulnerable to stuff it should be immune to, like normal and fighting. Or if you use a Ground type, it will now be susceptible to electric attacks. You also got to be careful of the fact that stuff that would normally not do much damage against you, like, say, a Fire type move against a Fire type, will now do super effective damage, as I found out the hard way when that Pyro I mentioned used Overheat against me and knocked out Pyrox in one fucking hit.
Yeah, that's the part I don't get about inverse battling. I understand flipping super effective and non-effective. I get that. But making the same type attack super effective against that same type, that just makes no sense.
Well, that's inverse battling for you, I guess. Now, this tunnel here leads to Terminus Cave, which doesn't really have anything of note at this point in time, but come the post-game, there's going to be a particular Pokemon that we'll be visiting.
Well, it is called Terminus Cave, the last cave, so let's hope there's something good in there in the post-game.
Yay, it's Gen 4's Dunsparce.
Now, I actually had to look this guy up. I was right in guessing what kind of animal it was based on, but I didn't know the name. Apparently, Stunfisk seems to be based on something called a Stargazer, which is basically a fish that sort of scoots along on the sea bottom. It's buried underneath it, and it's flat, and it can make electrical discharges when it's disturbed. So that's what it's based on.
Now, you know me and my lack of competitive knowledge. I always think people like these Pokemon ironically.
Well, I mean, you get Pokemon, I'll admit, like I've said before, if it looks like shit, I don't like it. But many times there have been Pokemon that I don't particularly like in terms of design, yet they have that right kind of setup that makes them really good and competitive. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. I know there have been some stupid ones. I think Kingdra, I believe, is one of those. I don't like Kingdra at all, but apparently it's got a good setup. But again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been wrong many a time before.
Well, Kingdra rocked my shit in Gen 2. I was not expecting it to be a Dragon type, which is, ironic, seeing as it was in a Dragon type gym.
That's true. I think we all were a little bit surprised when Claire pulled that out of her basket.
Not too far to Couriway Town, though.
Well, these railroads look pretty suspicious, don't you think?
That train ain't going nowhere. I'm not entirely sure if they appear in flowered sections of the land, but watch out for Heatmores and Durants, because they are quite readily available in this area, to put it bluntly.
Does this town have any, gyms or any other places of note?
No, it's just a scenic kind of town, really.
That's not bad. Like I said before, that's good to encounter those kind of towns in Pokemon. At first, before his music kicked in, when he said hello, I thought it was like God, but it turns out God is French, and I'm not sure how to feel about that. And I like how basically he just sort of slips in, oh, by the way, thanks for saving the world from Lysander. I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe it would have been a bit better if you sort of clued me in on that ahead of time, dude.
Well, he's an academic type, and I would imagine Lysander played to that aspect of his personality. Oh, it's, you know, for the good of mankind, etc. Yeah,
I just hope Lysander didn't tell Sycamore about the giant planet buster, because if Sycamore did know about it, that would just make him look like a total prick. I really hope after this game is over, though, he gives his leitmotif back to Professor Layton where it belongs.
I thought you said leitmotif for a second, and I just imagined him handing dentures back to Layton. Bit of wordplay for you there.
Now again, we have to bring this up. Sycamore has a model. You fight him like only twice. And yet the gym leaders, the more important boss battles, don't get anything. Just the flat drawing.
It's nice to see the fully evolved forms of all three Kanto stars, though.
That's true. You know, actually, the first time I saw this, I honestly thought he was going to pull out like a Mega Evolved version of one of them. He doesn't do that, unfortunately. Although that would have been kind of, you know, interesting to see, I have to admit.
Mega Venusaur just gets like a bigger flower and then like a pink flower on its forehead.
Yeah, Mega Venusaur doesn't really do it for me. Mega Blastoise, I don't know what the hell they were doing with that guy, because, like, he gets more shells on his arms, and then the guns on top move down in the shells, and then he gets another gun. I was like, what are you even doing? You're shuffling the guns.
Mega Blastoise kind of lends credence to the Digimon argument, if you think about it.
Yeah, he's pretty close to the whole, you know, Digimon form of evolution. And, of course, as we all know, Mega Charizard, because, you know, everybody likes Charizard. He gets the 2 Evos, and of course, his Mega Charizard X form got promoted in Pokemon Origins, which makes no fucking sense, but I digress.
Yeah, and there's also a new anime special coming up focusing, again, on Mega Evolutions, starring someone called Alan, who wants to defeat every Mega Evolution in existence.
What kind of a name for a Pokemon protagonist is Alan? I'm Alan Partridge!
Jesus Christ.
And then when he beats them all, he goes, Jurassic Park.
Shut up. Christ on a bike.
Back of the net. Come on, that would be amazing.
Ash! Ash! Ash!
I don't think he heard me. Ash! Ash!
Oh, it's late and we have no idea what to say to fill out this part. Deal with it.
Although it would be interesting if, like, you know, based on the version you had, Charizard would have been the Mega Pokemon, but he would have used the Y version of it. Like, if you were playing X, he'd use Mega Charizard Y, and, you know, vice versa for the other version. I gotta fly slow, I don't want to hurt my wings now that I'm almost dead!
How is he keeping himself off the ground? The physics here make no sense.
Okay, well, he's a giant fat-ass dragon to begin with. We kind of have to hand-wave it for Charizard a little.
Also, I'm pretty sure his tail flame would have gone out if we chucked an ocean on him.
Of course, the only reason he was flying in his model was to use him for the sky battles, which is, again, a total waste. Oh my, I have all these powerful Pokemon, yet I did not help you when Lysander was doing his shit. What's up with that?
Well, maybe if you had the Pokegods like Oak did, you would have got some shit done.
I still think Rowan would have beat the fucking piss out of Lysander, and I would have paid to see that fight. That would have been amazing.
Poke pay-per-view. P.
Oh, I love this little bit right here. Now, you told me that you didn't do this little side quest right here. But Sycamore basically wants you to go look around town for something he's hidden. And what exactly did he hide, Tom?
You want me to tell you what it is?
Let's hear it.
It is essentially a kind of time capsule thing. It was a letter that Sycamore wrote to his future self, just basically saying, be good, don't fuck up, and I'll see you when I see you.
I love that. He basically wants you to scavenger hunt for his own fucking time capsule. Fuck you, dude. Seriously.
You can get a rare candy and a TM in the same place, so honestly, I forgot all about it at the time. Well, we're pretty much done here, folks, so we'll see you all next time for another part of Pokemon X when we check out the sights of Couriway Town and then head on to our next destination. See you then.